Let's talk about the first guest, Whitney Houston. How
Yes!
long? Whitney Houston, yes!
Yes!
How long have you been working on this?
Well, my people worked on it all summer.
Yeah.
They really did. And, I'm the kind of, my style is if somebody really wants to do the interview with us, they'll do it. And if they don't, it's okay.
You're not begging?
No.
Please,
And
please,
7
please.
years ago, I wanted to do the interview 7 years ago. And Diane Sawyer got that interview. And I never watched the interview until the night before I was going to do Whitney.
Really?
Yes. And I saw it and I went, whoa. You know, at the time that I didn't get the interview, I thought, well, that's okay because I don't think she's ready to talk anyway. And the truth of the matter is 7 years ago, she wasn't ready, but now she is.
Really? Okay, what was the toughest thing you had to ask her in this interview?
What was the toughest thing? Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave?
Her marriage.
Yes, why didn't you leave your marriage? Why were you sitting in the house doing drugs? Why didn't you leave?
How forthcoming was she?
She's as forthcoming as every. This is the thing. It's so interesting that I'm Every Woman is playing in the background.
Yeah.
Because when I finished that interview, I thought, you know, she doesn't just sing that song. She really is Every Woman. You're going to see how. And I watched it with the audience. I watched the audience watch her on the tape the other day. And women were gasping. I'm telling you, it will leave you gasping because you will not believe that Whitney Houston tried to make herself smaller in order to fit in a marriage so the man could be bigger. How many women have done that? I mean, she's done the same thing that so many women have done. I so deeply felt for her. And for the first time, Shaun, I actually got it. I got it. I'm in the middle of the interview and I went, oh, I get it. You were trying to be the good wife.
Right.
She was trying to be the good wife. She was trying to be the good wife.
Is Whitney Houston in a place now where she can say, I was a drug addict?
I don't think the word addict actually comes up in this interview, and it's not necessary for the word addict. You'll see. There's no reason to say, were you an addict? Because she says, at one point she says, I didn't get out of my pajamas for 7 months.
Really? Did Whitney talk about
She talks about the drugs. She talks about the marriage. She talks about when it went wrong, when it started to go wrong. I mean, started to go wrong after Bodyguard. Which is a long time ago. Which started to go wrong. She talks about doing the drugs. She talks about doing the drugs and sitting in the house and, the two of them just sort of like, what are we doing?
You said this is the most exciting interview that you have done.
I'll tell you why it was exciting, because I had just seen the Diane Sawyer interview and was praying I wouldn't walk into that situation. Where she was really kind of
confrontational and defensive.
And flippant.
Yes.
And flippant in her answers. And as you know, as an interviewer, when you get that, you don't even know what to do with that.
Exactly.
What do you even do with that? So I think Diane handled that beautifully, but oh my goodness.
Right.
And that happened to be on a day where Bobby had just gotten arrested. So you walk into the house. God bless you, Diane.
Right.
But so I didn't know what was going to happen. So I did something I never do. I spent the morning praying.
Really?
Yes. I normally go to New York and I'm doing this meeting and that meeting and this meeting and that meeting. I spent the morning, I prayed, I meditated, I walked my dog in Central Park. Wow. Me and Sadie.
Just to get your mind.
Just to sort of be still with it. And to go into it so I wasn't like running into the interview and haven't finished that and finished that and okay, let's sit down and do the interview. So I was very calm. And I wanted to, before I started the interview, I stopped all the cameras. We met and, had our exchange. And then I said, everybody clear the room. And I sat down and I said, tell me what is your intention? With all the cameras off, tell me what you want to accomplish here. What is your intention?
What she said?
And she said, I want to tell my story. I want to tell the truth. And I said, and I want to be here as a vessel to allow that to happen.
Right.
I'm not, trying to make a moment or, anything off of this moment. I just want to be here and let's talk for as long as it takes. And that's what we did.